Fine. See, we have several SAP projects. In that first product of SAP is we have first, that is SAP R1. So when the SAP has been launched in the market, the first product name is SAP R1. What is R1 means? See, R means real time, one means single layer. I will tell you what exactly single layer is. So real time means, as I told you, SAP is a real time database software. Okay, we can fetch the data of any department in a real time manner. Okay, so that's why that is real time. And then we have one layer. Single layer is nothing but we have database layer. See, what is database layer? So database layer is nothing but arrangement of multiple hard disks connected to a server through internet. Okay, so database layer is nothing but it is a storage devices, so which is having multiple hard disks. So just like Google Drive. Okay, you have Google Drive. So in Google Drive, what you will do, you are going to store the data. It will be stored in the hard disk, not in the this one Gmail. So Google is having their own storage devices that will be located in multiple places. And whenever you require the data from the Google Drive, you are going to fetch it. That data will be provided by the server through internet. Without internet, you can't able to fetch the data from the Google Drive, right? Okay. So that is the meaning of database layer. Same way, what you use in the Google Drive. So that is called database layer. So in SAP R1, we were having only one layer, that is database layer, where we are going to store the data. So just like a Google Drive, as I told you, which is not saved in the server. See, server is not a storage device. Okay, server helps you to access the data from the storage device. So many see, you can take any example. See, in so many banks, they used to say that there is a down in the server. That doesn't mean that it is not fetching in any data. That means only the internet problem, or it may be a server related problem. Okay, so SAP is connected to SAP. See, in this, the server is nothing but a SAP server. See, that's what here I have mentioned. SAP is connected to SAP server using software which is being saved on somewhere. So in Google Drive, the data whatever you save, that will be saved in the Google storage device. That will be saved in the Google database layer. But in SAP, whatever the data you are going to save, that will be saved in the SAP lab. I think all of you have heard about SAP lab. That is the company name that is located in German. Okay, so whatever the data you are going to save in SAP, that will be saved in the SAP lab server database layer. So database of the company is very random of individual department. Whatever the data will be there of any company, that will be a random for individual department. Okay, so this is the first product of SAP. So next we have second product we have, that is SAP R2. So already we have SAP R1. Why they have introduced R2? See, R means obviously this is a real time. So 2, that means double layer. Why they have introduced a double layer? Already we are having one layer, that is database layer. So what exactly database layer is? Database layer is nothing but arrangement of multiple storage devices. Okay, but why SAP R2 introduced it? Even SAP R1 was working fine. We are fetching the data from the database layer through server. So here you have the answer for that. See, companies are facing so many problems from SAP R1. What was the problem? See, in SAP R1, the data, see, SAP R1 was saving the data just like a hard disk, or just like a pen drive in which we can see the data. So in SAP R1, we were having only the storage devices. We can store the data. we can't able to see the data in SAP. I'm telling you, okay, the data cannot be edited. If you want to edit, you need to delete it and you need to recreate it in SAP R1. I'm talking about SAP R1 disadvantage. And the data, if any changes has to be done. It's just like a DOS operating system. All of you have aware about DOS operating system. Earlier, before Windows, we were using DOS operating system. Only we need to create the data. Suppose if you want to edit the data, we need to delete it, we need to recreate it. That is DOS operating system. So R1, SAP R1 was just like DOS operating system. We can't able to edit the data. If you want to modify the data, we can't able to modify. We need to delete that particular data. Then we need to recreate it and we need to save the data. That is the major problem we were facing in SAP R1. Okay. So to overcome this problem, SAP R2 is introduced by adding another layer, that is presentation layer. Presentation layer means GUI. GUI means graphical user interface. So I'll tell you what exactly the presentation layer is. So in SAP R2, data can be changed or can be edited instantly using presentation layer. See, I will tell you one example of SAP R1 structure. So I think all of you have visited a railway station. There you will find the display, LED display. So there you will get the data, right? You will get the timings, which train will come at what time. Okay. Only you can see the data. You can't able to edit the data. But in SAP R2, they have introduced presentation layer where you can edit and you can change the data instantly. So we'll see what exactly the presentation layer. See here, earlier we were having database layer. See, database layer is nothing but it gives only display. So next we have presentation layer, that is GUI. See, GUI, graphical user interface. So GUI, graphical user interface, in which we can input, we can get output, we can change, we can delete, and we can use the data. So later, just like Windows has been introduced, na? Okay, where you can edit, you can modify in any way. So just like SAP has been introduced a new layer called presentation layer, okay, where you can edit the data. But in database layer is just a display. Only you can see the data. You can't able to edit. So that is called display. That is database layer. We can see the data. It gives only output in SAP R1. Okay. So later, say I'm talking all these things before 1972, I think so. Okay, these are all has been developed before 1972, I think so. Okay. So SAP R2 later, they have developed one more product, that is SAP R3. Why SAP R3 has been developed? At last you will come to know. Okay. So R means real time, 3 means triple layer. Okay. So here they have introduced one more layer. So that I will tell you. You just understand this concept, this 3-layer structure. Okay. So consider. So we have presentation layer. So what we have in SAP R2, you just observe carefully here. You will understand the concept of SAP, how the SAP will work. So here we have presentation layer. Suppose in any organization, we have 500 employees. Suppose we have 500 employees. For 500 employees, we need 500 PCs, right? That means computers or laptops. See, those 500 employees are managing the data of A, B, C, D, and it's just an example. Okay. These 500 employees of the company using 500 pieces, and they are managing A, B, C, D, E data. Okay. So that data will be accessed using server 1. You just understand carefully here. So that server will will fetch the data from the database layer, whatever the data the employees are fetching this ABCD, this server will fetch the data from the database layer. They receives the data and sends the particular data to the presentation layer. Got it? So this is R2 structure I am telling you. So this is R2 structure. See, you observe carefully. See, here we have 500 employees, but the capacity of the server is 150. Suppose all the 500 employees are trying to fetch these data, whether it is possible to get immediately from this server because the server is having 150. Is it possible?
No, sir, it is not possible.
Okay, server gets slowed down, right? What happens? Server
Yes.
gets slowed down because the server is having capacity of 150, but here users are 500. So all of you have experienced that whenever the university result will come, na, there will be a lot of problem arises in fetching the result, right? Because
Yes.
the slowdown of the server. So see, this is the R2 structure I am telling you. So companies are facing so many problems. So with the single server with some capacity, whenever the company required the capacity of the employees, they can increase. But simultaneously, they need to increase the capacity or they need to add multiple servers to fetch the data, which should be capacity of their requirement, right? Later, what they did, they have introduced multiple servers. Okay, so they can introduce any number of servers as per the company requirement. They can introduce, they can adopt any number of servers with their capacity. Okay, so here we have server 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 servers with the capacity, with the different capacities that will add up to 500 employees. Okay, so all the servers what they have introduced as per their requirement, they the all the servers has been interconnected with each other. Okay, once they interconnected all the server with each other with the database layer, whenever the data required from the employees, they can easily fetch. But another problem has been arised here. So what happens? See, individual server, see, this works individually. All the servers were working individually, right? So whenever the data required, see, suppose 200 employees are fetching the data of A, 100 employees are fetching the data of C, 100 employees are fetching the data of E. What happens? Based on the capacity of the server, they will provide, they will fetch the data to the employees, right? So what happens? So once in this manner, once the data will be fetching by the employees, so data will be provided in this manner. See, the capacity of 20 will provide the data first, then fourth server will provide. See, because this is compared to this will be, see, increasing order. So that the data will be fetching based on the capacity of the server. So if the data is fetching based on the capacity of the server, there will be a lag in giving output. So based on the capacity of the server, if it is fetching means there will be a lag, right? Because as SAP is promising that it is a real-time database software, it should provide in a real-time way, right? It should not lag. Whatever the data can be fetched by the employees, it should fetch in a real time. It should not be in a irregular manner. So the what SAP Labs has been introduced, they have developed and they have interconnected all the servers with each other. Okay, try to understand here. See, all the servers, see, earlier it was, see, earlier all different servers are working with their own capacity, but once they interconnected with each other, what happens? Once they interconnected with each other, so whenever the data, whatever the data required by the employee, it will fetch automatically, it will not lag. Okay, so one, see, just like sharing the capacity, it's, see, If we are not interconnecting the server with each other, means there will be a independent, individually it will work. Okay, try to understand here. If we interconnect with all the servers, that means it has been integrated. That means the complete interconnected servers, we'll call it as a single server. That is 500 capacity of the server. So whenever the data required, it will fetch and it will give to the employees in a real-time manner. So this interconnected servers, we are going to call it as a application layer. So this is one new layer the SAP has been introduced, that is application layer. Okay. So whenever the capacity has want to increase by the company, they can increase the size of the server. Got it? Okay. So this, see here, these servers we are going to call it as a application server. Okay. They see in an interview, they may ask you, so what are the three different layers we have in SAP R3 and how it will work? Okay. And they may ask you what is application server and what is application layer. See here, these individual servers, we will call it as an application server. And this interconnected server, we are going to call it as a message server. So once we integrate with all the servers here, we will get output in a real-time manner. See, so whenever the data requires, see in this manner, we will get the data. So suppose a 500 employees is fetching the data A, so 200 employees are fetching the data A. Instantly, it will they will get the data. So the server will not think which data need to be fetched. Once it is interconnected, that means it is a single. That means integrated. Got it? So hence we can say that in SAP R3 there are three layers. One is presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Application layer is nothing but arrangement of different capacity servers and integrating with each other. Application server is nothing but it is a server. Message server is nothing but integrated server. Okay. Any doubts? So these are the products we have in SAP. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. I'm expecting doubts. Nobody is asking. I hope in future definitely will get the doubts. 100% sure. Okay.
Both the layers, application layer and message server is same.
Yes.
Okay. So application layer is called as message server.
See, this is the name of, yeah, exactly. This, see, this layer we are going to call it as an application layer. The servers, integrated server, we are going to call it as a message server. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then any doubts from other side? Okay. So next, we'll move to SAP versions. Okay. So far we have learned about SAP products. Okay. Next, we will see what are the versions we have. So we have SAP R1 already. We came to know SAP R1, R2, R3. So these has been developed before 2004. Okay, that was having around 50 to 60 GB of memory. I'm talking about the software memory, not the database layer capacity. Okay, so later SAP ECC 5.0, after 2004, SAP has introduced it. See, it is similar to SAP R3 only, but some database has been introduced, added, and it has increased to 150 GB. Okay, SAP ECC 5.4, 5.0. Okay, so next SAP ECC 6.0. So here At present, we are using SAP 6.0 here EHP1. See, this is enhancement package. See, all the software developing companies, they need to update their software every year or twice a or one time in 2 years. Okay, so accordingly they have developed. See, this is enhancement package 1. So now we are using SAP ECC 6.0 EHP7. Okay, in the present companies, they are using SAP 6.0 EHP7. That means enhancement package that is having a capacity of 180 GB. Okay, so what is ECC? ERP central component. ECC means, EHP means enhancement package. Then, so present we are using SAP ECC 6 with EHP 7. So if anyone asks you, if in the interview they may ask you which package you are using, which version you are using, you have to say SAP ECC 6.0 with EHP 7. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay. So, okay, I will stop the session till now. Okay. So tomorrow we will see what are the modules we have and what are the applications of different modules and what is SAP MM, what exactly we are going to do in SAP MM. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Any doubts?
No doubt, sir. No, sir.
Okay, shall I wind up the session?
Okay, sir.
Shall I wind up the session?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.